Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and I wanted to dive into the Destiny 2 versus Destiny 3 debate, talk about why Bungie may or may not want to make another entry in this franchise that is a mainline looter shooter title, and the pros and cons of each, because I do think there's benefit to continuing Destiny 2, but there's a lot of reasons why a Destiny 3 might be a bit of a better idea. And one of the main keys either way is I think we should get, after the final shape, a break in Destiny where we don't get any new content for a little bit and allows Bungie to become more innovative in what they're doing. So there's a lot of improvements that I want to see, a lot of new modes and everything, but while they are head down kind of churning out content constantly, I feel like it limits the amount of flexibility they have in developing, planning, and preparing new content. A lot of people have talked about the servers, and that's a major problem with a lot of glitches and bugs, especially after the most recent mid-season update. But I don't think going to a brand new engine is just a magic fix-all. I don't think that's something that everyone's going to love because the gunplay might not feel the same switching to a new engine. There might be other hiccups in switching to a new engine, and that may put them behind several years compared to what they are. Whereas I don't know the ins and outs of upgrading the current engine or how patchwork the entire game is currently, but I do know that there are reasons why they wanted to stick with Destiny 2 over the course of time, even if the game needs an overhaul after the final shape. What I mean by that is even if we go into the final shape and come out of it with new content on the horizon, there's got to be some major changes in order to keep people invested or get people reinvested. For example, much different types of content, whether it's horde modes, whether it's new types of endgame activities on top of raids and dungeons. Something different is definitely needed in order to keep people's attention, because right now I think everyone has seen and done everything there is to do in Destiny. And where I would see a Destiny 3 really taking advantage of this is new playable races. For example, if we could play as the Fallen, if we could play as the Cabal, these other races that we've been recruited, if we could play as, imagine, a Cloud Strider or something like that, would be absolutely epic. And I think that's something that would separate Destiny 2 from Destiny 3. I don't want to continue on as the same Guardian in a new entry. If we're going to do that, I want kind of a reset where maybe they sunset certain things. Maybe there are certain things that are only available in the old content, because the game does need to eventually leave old last-gen consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, behind if it's going to push forward and really upgrade a lot of the things that we want to see. And so leaving them behind, moving forward with next gen or current gen now and PC only, would mean that there's a lot more upgrades that they can make, and they don't have to consider the player base that is on those other older consoles that are going to definitely struggle as the game moves forward even more so. Another thing that new franchise entry could benefit from is a variety of gameplay compared to what we've seen. A complete overhaul. So instead of just strikes and Crucible, we might see some open world PvEVP or survival type game mode activities, something that we haven't seen in the franchise as of yet. Think the Dark Zone with the Division or something of that nature. You could also do something like we've seen Synced. There's other games that I think they could kind of look at and be like, okay, this would be a different type of combat, a different type of gameplay that would freshen up things in Destiny. And I don't know if that will necessarily happen with Destiny 2. And that's one of the main problems, is I do think we need much more innovative gameplay in order to keep things moving forward. But at the current pace, that's just not possible. And that's something that I know there are reasons why they want to keep chugging along. They want to do the seasonal formula. The storytelling, I think, is interesting. Not everyone likes every season, and that's fine. But I think it's telling a story over the course of time that I enjoy. So I don't mind the way they're doing it overall. I would just like to see something more, something better. And I do think the seasonal model will stick around, but I wonder if they wouldn't be better served to extend the seasons or make the seasons occasionally, maybe one season a year, be a repeated or recovery season, where it doesn't cost anything for that season, but it's just upgrading quality of life stuff and helping out strikes and Crucible and Gambit and all of that. So I do think there's a lot of potential there, but another Destiny mainline franchise entry would require a great shift in the way the game is played, in my personal opinion. Other options are a break from Destiny 2. We get maybe a year or two where they overhaul some things while we get whatever new game that Bungie is working on. Maybe they just repeat some seasons for the next couple. They keep the seasonal events going and all that kind of good stuff, but they allow the downtime to reinvigorate and reinvent the way the franchise is going forward, and they come back with almost like a Final Fantasy, a Realm Reborn, or something like that, which really pushes forward Destiny 2 in a way that is going to get people hyped for the franchise again. I think either a long break or a Destiny 3 are absolutely needed. Again, I understand that everyone has grinded for their gear. Eventually, you're going to have to leave that behind. I just don't see any possible way you can keep that gear indefinitely and have it be viable across every type of content. Every other MMO has a system where older gear with the new expansion gets left behind, and Bungie doesn't have that. Destiny doesn't have that, and I think it's really hampering how fresh the new gear feels and how much people want to chase new gear as it comes out. So overall, do I think they should make another Destiny? Yes, if it feels completely different from Destiny 2. If we get, like I said, new classes, all that kind of good stuff. But if it feels like the difference between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, no. I think then they should stick with Destiny 2, take a break for a bit, and reinvigorate what they're doing, add some things that they haven't done before, and all that kind of good stuff. That's my personal opinion on the matter. I know not everyone is going to agree. There's been lots of debate back and forth, and I understand why. There's a lot at stake. Everyone's so invested after all these years of Destiny, and everyone wants the franchise to be the best it possibly can. However, the way it gets there is going to be tricky, in my personal opinion, and I hope Bungie figures it out, because I want to see this game back on top and thriving once again, as we've seen it in the past. It still is one of the best looter shooters out there, so for that reason, I'm excited to see where this all heads overall. Anyway, my name is Jopa. I hope you have a good one. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. The support lately has been absolutely unreal. You guys have been legends, and I appreciate it all. So thank you so much. My name is JoPa, as I said. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.